Why do bad things happen to good people and good things to bad people? It can feel incredibly unfair, making you wonder if you have to be bad to get what you want and if our constant desire to help others actually could be part of the problem. Most of us were taught that if you are a kind, good person who helps others, life will naturally reward you. But look around. The people who often seem to succeed in life are the ones who don't care if others feel uncomfortable, who say no without guilt, and don't stick to the unspoken social contracts society places on us. I've been that nice guy most of my life, always avoiding conflict, always pleasing others, always following the rules. But none of that brought the life I truly wanted, and after studying the universal laws of reality creation for many years now, I understood why. So in this video, I'm going to show you why good people often struggle and why so-called bad people seem to succeed. I will reveal the one key ingredient that makes all the difference. Something bad people tend to have and that many good people unknowingly lack. And by the end of this video, you will get practical steps on how to start developing that missing piece within yourself to support you in creating the life you actually deserve. So, if the universe is not handing out gold stars for being nice, what is really going on? Why do so many truly good people keep finding themselves stuck in struggle and disappointment? It is because those very traits we associate with being a good person, like always saying yes, avoiding conflict at all costs, and prioritizing the needs of others above our own, can unknowingly send a message to the universe and also the people around us that our own needs and desires are less important. And this can lead to weak boundaries and a subconscious programming that whispers, I don't deserve more. And when that's the energy you put out, it's no surprise that others feel comfortable taking your time and energy without giving much back. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself agreeing to help someone even when you were already overwhelmed, just because you were afraid of upsetting them by saying no? Or maybe you stayed quiet just to avoid conflict and later felt frustrated or upset because you didn't speak up. Every time you put others first and ignore your own needs, you strengthen a pattern, both in how others treat you and what you believe you are worth. For example, constantly volunteering for extra tasks at work because you feel you should be helpful might lead to burnout and being overlooked for promotion because you are seen as just a helper rather than a leader. Saying yes to every request from friends can leave you exhausted and unable to pursue your own goals. When helping others comes at the cost of helping yourself or shrinking your truth, you send a powerful message out into the world. My needs can wait. And that's exactly the reality you end up creating. You end up in situations where you are overlooked, underappreciated, or stuck in cycles of effort with little or no return. Now, it might be hard to accept, but your good intentions might be exactly what's holding you back. And to see why this keeps happening, we have to look deeper into the subconscious beliefs that silently shape your reality. Many of these subconscious beliefs come from childhood at a time when your mind observed everything without question. You might not even remember where they came from, but they have been running in the background ever since, quietly influencing your sense of yourself and what's possible for you and what you believe you are allowed to receive. They often sound like, it's selfish to put myself first. I'm not worthy of abundance and wealth. I need to be nice so people will like me. And those subconscious beliefs control your conscious thoughts, feelings, and actions. And your thoughts, feelings, and actions create your version of reality. So, recognizing these subconscious blocks is the key to breaking that cycle. And if you want to quickly start identifying your subconscious blocks today, you can begin by observing the patterns in your life. What keeps repeating? Maybe you always end up in one-sided relationships, or you struggle to hold on to money. These patterns often point to deeper beliefs running in the background. You can also listen to how you speak to yourself, especially in difficult moments. If you often hear thoughts like, I always mess things up, or why does this always happen to me? That's your subconscious revealing itself. And whenever you get emotionally triggered, whether it's frustration, guilt, or insecurity, pause and ask, what would I have to believe for this to upset me so much? Just by noticing these patterns, thoughts, and reactions, you begin to loosen their grip, and awareness is always the first step towards change. And in just a moment, we'll get to that one missing ingredient that most good people lack and that so-called bad people often have and use to shape reality in their favor. But to truly understand why this works, we first need to clear up on one of the biggest misconceptions. The universe or God doesn't reward good behavior or punish bad behavior. That's a human idea. Morality is a construct created by societies to define what's right or wrong within their cultural, ethical, or religious systems. But the universe or God doesn't operate on those terms. The universe only responds to energy, frequency, and vibration. It doesn't care if an action or a thought is labeled as good or bad by humans. It simply mirrors back the energy you emit. Because everything in existence, including you, is made of energy. And energy is always moving. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs all carry a certain vibration. And the more consistently you feel a certain way, the more that vibration stabilizes into a dominant frequency, your energetic set point, so to speak, that the universe responds to. This frequency is what determines the kind of people, opportunities, and experiences you attract. It shapes the reality you live in. So the expectation that many people have that being morally good guarantees a positive reality is a big misconception based on a limited human perspective, as the universe exists and operates beyond such dualistic judgments. Now, what's really important for me to say here is this. I am not telling you to stop being a good person. I am not saying you should stop helping, caring, or living from the heart. Not at all. But if you truly want to create a beautiful life, you have to stop trying to earn it by being good in everyone else's eyes. Stop seeking validation from the outside Instead, start being true to who you really are. Pay attention to what your heart is telling you. Respect your own needs and desires. And if we boil it all down to the one thing that people we often label as bad seem to have and that many good people unconsciously lack, it's this: conviction. Conviction makes all the difference, because while good people are often questioning themselves, doubting if they are doing it right or waiting for permission, those other people just decide. They decide what they want, they decide that it's possible. Their thoughts, emotions, focus, and actions are all moving in the same direction. There is no internal conflict creating mixed signals. This alignment creates a powerful, clear, energetic frequency. And the universe, acting as that neutral mirror we talked about, simply reflects that strong, clear frequency back to them. They are not thinking, do I deserve this? Or am I good enough? They are convinced they are worthy and they act accordingly. They don't get held back by too much concern for others' opinions or a fear of breaking any rules of society. Conviction is not just believing in something, because belief can still carry doubt. Conviction is knowing. It's an inner yes that stays strong no matter what. And that knowing gets impressed deeply into your subconscious mind. And this is why even so-called bad people can manifest what they want. They hold a frequency of certainty, while good people are often stuck in a frequency of conflict between what they desire and what they believe they deserve. Instead of moving confidently in one direction, they keep second guessing. Am I doing this right? Do I even deserve this? Maybe I should wait until whatever. And so nothing moves. But here's what I want you to remember. Conviction is something you can build. So one of the most powerful ways to build conviction is by rebuilding your self-trust. And that starts with keeping small promises to yourself every day. Because no one is coming to save you. It is your responsibility to create the life you truly want. So here's what I recommend. Get a small notebook, your win book, and each morning or the evening before, write down 3 small wins you want to accomplish that day. These should be simple actions that are aligned with your goals. Not things to impress others, but things you know are right for you and that you should be doing. This could be going for a 30-minute walk, exercising at home or in the gym, working on a business idea for an hour, speaking up in a meeting, or simply saying no when someone asks you for something you don't have the energy or desire to give. The whole point of this win book is that you follow through on what you said you would do. Because each time you do so, you show yourself, I can count on me. And by following through on what you said you would do consistently, you build self-trust, which strengthens conviction. And to support this process, you also have to start valuing your own boundaries in a grounded, firm, and honest way. Now, this might look like saying no to a friend who wants to hang out when you know you really need to rest or work on your business idea or learning a new skill. Or telling a coworker, I would love to help, but I am at my limit today. And as someone who was going through this process himself, let me tell you that this will feel uncomfortable or even wrong at the beginning, because the voice of your old identity will say things like, that is not who I am, or I feel guilty. But that's also exactly the moment where transformation happens, because you will feel so proud of yourself because you honored your needs and boundaries and acted as you said you would act. And here's the truth. Yes, some people might react with anger, get upset, or some similar negative emotion, but their reaction is not your responsibility. That negative emotion was already in them. Your words just triggered some trauma or insecurity in them. You don't need to feel bad. If you trigger a negative reaction on purpose, it is your bad luck. It is just bad intent. But if you speak your truth, it is really not for you to worry about. And please always remember that whenever you are becoming aware of self-limiting beliefs and doubting yourself, that this is actually a good thing. Because when you recognize it as a self-limiting belief, you are no longer unconscious of those beliefs, which means you are able to rewrite the script of your life. Building conviction isn't about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you really are and finally standing behind that version of you. And when you start living from that place, you'll be amazed how quickly your outer world begins to catch up. And something else I really want to emphasize is this. Everybody experiences both good and bad things in life, no matter who you are. That's because it's simply the nature of the universe. One of the universal laws, the law of rhythm, reminds us that life moves in cycles, just like the rising and falling tides, the phases of the moon, or the changing of the seasons. Everything in existence follows a natural rhythm, and that includes your emotions, your thoughts, and your overall state of consciousness. So the important question is, how do you respond when you are experiencing phases of lows? Do you rise above them and grow from them? Or do you let them pull you down? Because this is what truly shapes your core frequency, and that core frequency is what determines whether you can actually manifest the life you dream of. So if you want to know how to respond in those tough moments, how to stay in alignment even when things go wrong, then make sure to watch my Change Your Frequency with these 3 simple tips video. It should appear right here somewhere on the screen, and I will see you in the other video.